Be 2 minutes to allow people to come in.
Sure thing.
Okay, that's good. All right, so let's just wait a bit. And could you kindly be admitting them in whilst they get in?
Yes, please. I'm doing just that.
Sure, thank you so much. I think when we get to about 20 participants, then we are good to go.
Sure.
All right. Is there a reason they are late today? Because the other time they came in quite early. We had about 50 at about the time we started.
I'm sure they would get here soon.
Or they're working with Ghana man time, eh?
I doubt that. Maybe network issues. The weather is quite sketchy, so.
Okay. Okay. There's 2 more to go. Then we shall officially begin. Okay. I guess we have our 20 people and we are good to go. Okay. Hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Kwame Nyaswame. I will be your facilitator for today's session. Today we'll be talking effective networking strategies for career growth. I want to believe this is the same group I had, I think, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. I just have a few house rules, one of which includes, having a notepad and a pen, because somebody told me some time ago that your brain is not a filing cabinet. And so if you hear anything that's, intrigues you, gets you wondering, I've never heard this before, or, something that just strikes you, best to put it in, on a piece of paper. Preferably if you have a specific diary for sessions that might potentially add to your body of knowledge. It'll be best to have that so you write things down as and when they pop up. Number 2 would be that I want the session to be as interactive as possible. This is a learning experience for both of us. If you have any questions, I'll try and alternate between the chat and then you unmuting and then sharing whatever question or opinion that you have. Yes, and that's the last one will be to, let's just enjoy this moment we have together. And yeah, that'll be it for me. Good, we have 25 people, so that's good. Okay. How many of you, by show of hands, kindly, show hands if you were here on the last session. The last session we spoke about personal branding and building your professional image. You can go onto the chat and raise your hand. Okay. I just want to have a fair idea of how many people were here during that time. Okay. Let us see if anybody else, by show of hands, if you were here for our last session, I'd appreciate if you could just give me a wave. Okay. It looks like so far it's just Yusuf and I believe his name is Patty Love that I'm seeing now. Listen, is this a new group? Because I'm just seeing only 2 hands raised. I don't know if they probably can't hear me. Is it
No,
new?
it's
Oh, it's
not
the
that
same
I
group.
know of, but I think it's the same group.
It's the same group. Okay. Okay. I'm
As
guessing
I
they're
said, maybe
setting it in.
there's going to be a bit of a lag because of the network, so maybe it'll take
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is just going to be a continuation of the broader topic we had about 2 or 3 weeks ago, which was on personal branding and building your professional image. Clearly, if you do the behind the scenes work, as I call it, of making sure that you are doing, you're going through the exercises of self-awareness, you are taking steps to make sure that you are building your unique value proposition as an individual, and you are taking steps to make sure that you are doing all the necessary work that you have to do for yourself on the inside. Once that is done on the personal branding side, it transitions straight into you building that professional image. And once you build that professional image, definitely as you take steps to advance in your career, as you take steps to explore new opportunities, as you take steps to interact with people within the area of the area of interests. So as I understand it, people within this group are studying UX design, digital marketing, and there were others within the, if you like, the tech space. It's important that you pay attention to knowing how to effectively network, to ensure that the outcomes that you desire as you progress in your career, or as you even start your career, you are able to get those outcomes. And so I'd like us to go straight into it. Can anybody give me an idea of what networking is? When you hear networking, what comes to mind? I'd like you to type it in the chat. So when you hear networking, what comes to mind? If you can hear me, please feel free to type in the chat what you think networking is. I don't know if you can hear me, but if you have an idea of what networking is, please type it in the chat. Okay, Kwame Jan Mante says, getting to know people and what they do. Okay. Rebecca, thank you for that. Connection. I need everybody to take note of that word, connection. Miracle says, having an interaction with people you come across. Brilliant. Yusuf says, the process of making friends or creating a relationship with like-minded people. I like the sound of that. Hassan Baba says making friends. I think that's a simplistic way to understand what networking is. I like that. The next one says, I think networking means connecting with people. That's good. Thank you, Benjamin, for sharing. I'd like to hear more. Anybody else? Let's get about 2 or 3 more, and then we get into our topic for today. David says, I think it's the process of interacting with key people for a greater good of all. Okay. Sounds good. The next one, Adam Morrison says, connecting and exchanging ideas and information between individuals. I like the sound of that. Good, good, good. So we all seem to have a fair idea of what networking is. So as a way of introducing the topic, somebody says, Patilo says, interacting and exchanging information and development of professionals. Okay. Quite specific, but okay. So as we delve in, let's start. So networking is basically the practice of building one, right? Building, and then number 2, nurturing professional relationships for mutual benefits. You've mentioned keywords that I'd like you to pay attention to. Rebecca says connection, and that is a key element of networking. Connection is that's a rather apt word that comes up when you hear the word networking. So it's a practice of building and nurturing professional relationships for mutual benefits. We are saying professional here because we are in a space where we are trying to we want people to know us and what we do. We want to also know other people in our field, who they are, what they do. And the interesting thing about any field that you choose to partake in is the fact that there are lots of people in it, right? No matter what the space is, you definitely find people who are ahead of you, right? So it's important that when you're seeking to enter any particular space that's related to your career path or that's related to your a subject of interest, it's always best to know who is in that space, just so you can collaborate, just so you can share ideas, just so you can build connections for growth, for basically opening your mind to things that are happening in the specific area that you've chosen to chart. So like I was explaining earlier, networking is the practice of building and nurturing professional relationships for mutual benefits. I think that's a key, that's a key phrase that I'd like you to pay attention to, for mutual benefits, right? As we go along, you'd understand why I specifically chose the phrase mutual benefit, meaning that it has to benefit both of you, right? So the Oxford Dictionary defines it as the action or the process of interacting with another person to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts, right? The word action there means that you have to take an initiative, right? No, people in your space are not just going to come to you because, oh, you have a nice head or you are a cute person. No, it doesn't work like that. It's an action that you have to take, and especially at the beginning of your career, or at the beginning of your curiosity to find out what's happening in your field of study, or in the particular space that you are interested in. You have to take action, right? And you should understand that it's also a process, right? So you need to understand what goes. It's like, how I think about it is like making okra stew or like groundnut soup, right? There's a process to it, right? The process can differ from one person to another, but on a foundational level, you need to understand that there's a process to it, right? You need to find what ingredients you need to put together to be able to get that outcome of the groundnut soup or the okra stew. So same with the networking. You need to understand that it's a process. You can't rush the process. You need to understand the process, and then as you get good and great at it, you can decide whether to mix things up or make it, something that is bespoke to you, right? So it's the action or process of interacting with another person, others, right? With others to exchange, information and develop professional and social contacts. In our case, we are dealing mainly professional, but there are some people who are like social butterflies. They when it comes to networking, they go about networking mainly for social purposes, right? You want to be able to say, I know that person knows me, and yeah, for whatever reason that you seek to execute on networking, it's all up to you. But you do understand that in our case, it's for career growth, it's for career opportunity, it's for career, it's for building connections as we move along, right? So the key takeaway here is that networking is a powerful tool. It's an incredibly powerful tool, right? There's a pretty famous saying that goes, no man is an island, right? Nobody is an island, right? You need people to be able to move ahead. You need people to be able to move, to be able to make things happen. If I want to even take it into the religious space, so even with Christianity, right? God needs us, and then we also need God, right? So when you think about the fact that he went to Mary, for example, right? The fact that he went to Mary he sends the angel to Mary to basically tell her, Mary, I've chosen you. You're going to be the mother of the savior of the earth. There was some connection. There was an action. There was a process in there, right? Where he sent somebody to go to Mary, right? There had to be some sort of an interaction. You understand? There was an interaction. There was a meeting, and then there was an exchange of words that led to Mary agreeing that, oh, okay, God, I know you, blah blah. You said I should fear not. Okay, this is the instruction you've given me. I'm going to do it, right? So within our sphere of journeying in our career, it's important to understand that networking is a powerful tool for career growth, which gives you an opportunity for learning, for collaboration, and for advancement, right? I mean, the key takeaway I want you to pick from this first slide is the fact that you need people, right? A wise man once told me that life is about people, right? Life is about people. I'd actually need you to write that down, right? So you understand it, you get it deep into your mind that life is about people. It's incredibly important that you take note of that point. So here are some popular networking quotes I'd like you to pay attention to. One is, your network is your net worth, right? I'm sure you people have heard this so many times. Your network is your net worth. The next one says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. It's an incredibly powerful African proverb. It's one that I subscribe to quite strongly, right? And I particularly like this African proverb because it ties into the session that we had about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Somebody's sending a message. Life is about people indeed. Miracle. Please note that down. Good. So I was saying that I particularly like this African proverb that says that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. I like it because it has a link to the first subject we discussed the other time, which was on personal branding and building your professional image, right? So how I look at it is, if you want to go fast, meaning that you have to do the internal work, you have to pay attention to yourself. You need to do the work that you need to do on the inside, right? I.e., paying attention to yourself, being self-awareness, paying attention to the things that are unique about you, paying attention to your strengths, paying attention to your weaknesses, paying attention to the things that trigger you, paying attention to the spaces that you are comfortable with, right? The things you can do, the things you cannot do. All of these things are the internal work, right? And to do that, you don't need people, right? You might need people to an extent, i.e., to sort of maybe guide you here and there, but ultimately that work has to be done by yourself, right? I remember in our last session, I said that by the moment you turn 18, you should understand that you're responsible for yourself. I mentioned, I highlighted two poems, right? I think the one that's coming to mind immediately was by Henry Henley, I believe, and the title of the poem is Invictus, right? To understand that you are the captain of your fate, you are the captain of your fate, right? You are responsible for yourself. You have no excuse. You have no excuse for not doing the necessary work that you have to do on the inside, right? If you know you don't speak well, you take steps to make sure that you improve how you speak in public. If you know you're not good in a particular subject, you go and make sure that you be around the people who you know are going to pass on that information to you to be able to get to that level, right? You know that thing they say that I'm trying to remember the phrase, but when it comes, I'd repeat it. But ultimately, you get the point. The point is that if you want to move fast, make sure that you do the work behind the scenes, right? You do the work behind the scenes. You pay attention to yourself. You make sure you do all the self-awareness stuff, the self-introspection stuff. You do not have an excuse. I like to put it that way. You should understand that you are the captain of your fate. You are the master of your soul, right? You could have been doing so many things at this moment, but then you chose to do this. You chose to do this because it was going to add some sort of knowledge, you understand, to you, right? So if when you understand that you are in that space where whether you progress or not is up to you, you're going to move different, right? Okay, so another relevant quote when it comes to networking is the more connections you make, the more valuable you become, right? Networking is an unwritten rule of success. I particularly like this one too as well, because the one that says the more connections you make, the more valuable you become. The truth is whether whether I whether you like it or not, right? Any opportunity you have to be able to meet, a number of people is good for you, right? Specifically when you hone your craft, you're good at what it is that you do. When you get the opportunity to interact with people and everybody gets to know you and what it is that you do, it's great for you, right? It's a very good thing for you. So it's something that I want you to pay attention to. Okay, so I guess the follow-up question would be, how do I begin with networking? Right? Mr. Kwame, how I've been hearing networking here and there. How do I go about networking? So we'll delve into that. Any questions so far? Let me not. I don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself. So any questions so far? Any standouts, things that have stood out to you? I'd appreciate some feedback. You can unmute and make a comment or two. If there's any question, I'd like that as well, based on what we've discussed so far. The floor is open, guys. Okay. Okay. Patilov says no, please. Okay. All right. So far so good, guys. Are we on course? Kindly give me a thumbs up so I know that we are on course. Okay. I guess we have. Okay, good. Let me answer. Please, I want to ask what one would do when shyness is a barrier. Good. We'll come to that. Jacqueline says life is about people. Throw more light on that. Right. Jacqueline, so there's a popular, I don't know what to call it, a proverb or a truism, I guess, that says that no man is an island, right? And the truth of the matter too is that you need to understand, yeah. So no man is an island, meaning that human beings are like social animals, right? We are literally wired to want to be and interact with other humans. And if you pay attention to our history, right, moving from the Homo sapiens sapien all the way to us getting to the agricultural revolution, all the way to the industrial revolution, it was because human beings were able to come together to agree on what to do going forward, right? When you're part of a group, it ensures that you have food, you have protection, and you have all the benefits that come with being in a group. If I'm going to link it to what it is that we're doing here, you had to join this Junior Achievements Ghana program, right, to be able to have access to, all these people within the group, and including myself. You could have met me and interacted with me, but if you didn't join this group, we could argue it out and say that it would have been relatively difficult for you to be able to find somebody like me to speak on this topic to you, right? So being in the group and interacting and understanding that life is about people it's huge, right? If I want to stretch it even further, right? They say God uses people to bless people, right? God uses people to bless people. God is not going to use I don't even know what's a rock or a stone or an ant to bless you. He's going to use another human being, right? So if you seclude yourself, if you engage in activities that isolate you and put you in a space where you have no interaction with others, you're going to be stuck. And history has shown us clearly that being alone, right? Being in a position where you're alone exposes you to all the dangers around, right? So I hope I've touched enough on that to be able to give you a clear understanding of what it means, what the phrase means by life is about people. Somebody says IGP said recently that it takes another human being to make him a complete human being. That's absolutely spot on, right? There's a popular I don't know whether it's Kenyan, but it's Ubuntu. Ubuntu literally means I am because you are, right? I am because you are. To understand that we are all connected. All human beings are connected, right? It goes back to the saying that no man is an island, right? And so even when you're in a dark room, right? Imagine being in a dark room alone. You prefer to be in a dark room with another person as compared to being in a dark room alone, right? That's a much clearer picture to emphasize the points that life is pretty much about people, right? Okay, so we are continuing with our slides. So how do we begin, right? How do we begin with networking? Number one is setting very clear networking goals, right? What I like to say is that don't be that ship that sets sail without a clear direction and endpoints in mind, right? Don't say, oh, I'm going to don't say things like, okay, let me give an example. Don't say things like, oh, I want to eat kinky and pepper and fish this evening, but you're not taking any steps to make that happen, right? Don't do things like, I want to build up on my UX skills, or I want to build up on my digital marketing skills by the end of the year, and you do not take action. God is not going to open your mind to put it in there. You have to take some action, right? The point here is that you need to decide. Once you decide what it is that you want to achieve, then you start working towards it, right? So be very clear on what it is that you want to achieve. It's incredibly important, especially when it comes to networking. You don't want to be that person who is not sure what to do, right? Because you haven't decided what it is that you want to do, right? So be very clear, define what it is that you want to achieve through networking, right? Does it mean, do I want to find a job, right? Do I want to gain industry insights into the subject matter that I'm interested in, or the career path that I've chosen, right? Do I want to expand my skill sets, right? I've been doing UX for a while in a certain particular way, But I have the feeling that there might be people within my space who are, pros, right, and are doing things very different and much easier than the way I'm doing it, right? Do I want career advancement, right? So I am probably a junior digital marketer, right? Am I going to stay there forever? I want to interact with people who are ahead of me. When I want to find out, or people within my circle, people within my space, I want to find out, what's new. I want to find out what's new in these spaces, right? Where are you going to find that from? You're going to find that from people, right? People within that space, right? It has to be very clear from the get-go, right? So the key takeaway here is setting specific goals, right? Setting those specific goals is going to help you focus on your networking efforts and measure your progress, right? I liken this to exercise, right? Exercise and working out and so on and so forth. From the day you decide that I'm going to lose probably maybe 50 kg or whatever um, goal that you have for yourself, once you have it clear in your mind, there's a quote that says that a problem defined clearly is about 80 to 90% of the problem solved. Once you understand what the problem is, once you set the goal so clearly in your mind, you know what to do next, right? So set it clearly in your mind. Am I doing it to find a job? Am I doing it to gain industry insights? Am I doing it to just get to know people in my space, right? Am I doing it to expand my skills, right? Do I want to advance in my career? Let that goal be very clear. If it's not clear, don't start because you slip up. Let me give an example. So the example here is for somebody who's looking to transition into a new career, right? I broke it down to make it easier for everybody to understand. So the goal here, right? So Asimesi says, I want to transition into a new career. His goal is to transition from a marketing role to a data analytics position within a year, right? My name is Asimesi. Today is September 16th or 15th, right? I want to transition into a new career. I've been doing this marketing thing for a while. I want to transition into data analytics within the year. So by next year, I should fully be into data analytics, right? So now the question is, what networking activities am I going to engage in, right? So I broke it down just so it's easier for all of you to understand. One of the things to do would be to attend industry-specific webinars and conferences related to data analytics, right? I cannot say I'm interested in data analytics and then I'll be doing things related to Aboboya, right? It's important to pay attention to this. The next thing will be to join LinkedIn groups and online communities focused on data analytics, right? So the goal, setting a clear networking goal makes the thing specific. It makes your goal specific. So you're like, okay, I want to transition. This is what it says I want to do. Okay, how am I going to go about it? What networking activities can I engage in? Right? The third one is connecting with professionals in data analytics on LinkedIn and engage in meaningful conversation. I'll touch on that more. But we are blessed to be in a time where we have apps, right? That are specifically tailored to what's it called? Career growth and career opportunities. One of which is LinkedIn, right? So if it makes sense that if you're looking to transition from a role from marketing to data analytics, it makes sense to be able to enter a space, right? So you can quickly find groups and you can quickly find people within the data analytics space, right? On LinkedIn, on an incredible app like LinkedIn, right? A fourth layer will be to seek informational interviews with data analysts to gain insights into the field and potential job openings, right? Next one is to aim to secure at least 3 mentorships or advisory relationships with experienced data analysts. I hope you're seeing how to go about, setting a clear networking goal for yourself, right? So now after you outline the things that you'll be able to do to be able to reach your goal, setting a clear networking goal allows you to be able to measure success, right? So you ask yourself at the end of the 12 months, right? Was I able to get mentors within this space, right? Have I joined any groups of people who are into data analytics, right? Who do I know in the data analytics space after a year, right? You see, I want to make this as practical as possible, right? So track the number of meaningful connections you've made in the data analytics field. 1, 2, set a goal to have at least 5 informational interviews, right? 3, monitor the progress you are making towards, securing mentorship and people who are going to advise you within that space, right? Another measurement metric could be to apply for a minimum of 5 data analytics jobs within the 12-month framework. Example 2, if you are currently in an organization and you want to advance, right? So Amaijiwa says, well, I'm deciding today on the 15th of September that my goal is to be promoted to a managerial role within my current organization within the next 18 months. What do we have here? We have a very clear goal in mind. She wants to advance to a managerial role. She's tired of being mid-level. She wants to advance, right? So now the question now is, what am I going to do? What networking activities am I going to engage in to be able to get to my goal, right? Number 1 is to build strong relationships with colleagues within and outside my department, right? Seek every opportunity to be able to collaborate on cross-functional projects, right? So when an opportunity comes for me to be able to work on a project, I'm not going to say, oh, as for me, I'm in marketing. So something that has a potential project that is going to combine a host of other departments, I'm not going to be in. I don't see the point of being in it. That's going to limit you, right? The third one says join internal company groups and committees related to leadership development, right? You need to understand that if you want to advance in your current organization, leadership is always looking at the people, is always looking at staff and how they are going about their duties on a day-to-day basis, right? Some people, it's all about their department and then that's it. Nothing concerns them, right? So if you want to progress, there are certain steps that you're going to take to be able to make sure that you get to your goal. Attend internal networking events such as company-wide meetings. This point is actually very funny, but I have bumped into a number of people who do not participate in anything that their company puts together, right? Some people are just not interested and they do not understand why they are not, advancing in their current organizations, right? So Ama Ijewa, as a way to measure her success, right, will be 1, to track the number of cross-functional projects she's participated in within the 18 months. Right? The next one will be to document positive feedback and recognition from colleagues and supervisors, right? This success metric makes sense because if she's going to be, if you like, in-house facing, right, leadership facing, you would get 1 or 2, kind words, commendations, recommendations from leadership within your organization, right? Based on the fact that you are breaking out of the box and engaging in activities that cut across the company, right? Set a goal to have one-on-one meetings with at least 3 senior leaders in your organization. Monitor your progress in gaining visibility within the company through participation in internal groups and events, right? It's funny, but we have something in our culture where people who are very active and want to be everywhere within companies, etc., we call them busybodies. But these are the people who are making themselves, prime participants or prime actors, right, for leadership positions, right? You are the one who is coiling up, who is not, engaging with anybody, who is not interacting with anybody. When there are initiatives, when there are tasks for you to participate in, you don't want to participate in them. You're always in your corner because you feel like this is my area of concern, and so you are not interested. Yeah, well, who is going to see you? right? So I hope that these two examples have given you a clear understanding of what it means to set clear networking goals, right? It's incredibly important to be able to have that at the back of your mind as you progress on your career path, right? So these examples, mainly illustrate how setting clear networking goals can be tailored to specific career objectives, right? Whether it's transitioning to a new field, advancing within, your current organization, and so on and so forth, right? So by defining, your goals and implementing targeted networking activities, individuals can work towards achieving their career aspirations effectively. Don't be somebody who just wishes. Decide what it is that you want, and then make sure you take the steps, day in, day out to be able to reach your goal, right? For many of you who are participating in the Junior Achievements Ghana project, if you sat at home and didn't join in, well, I'm not sure you'll be here today, right? So basically what this is pointing to is that you have to take a certain level of action. You need to take action to be able to get the outcomes that it is that you want, right? Okay. The next one is building a strong online presence. Like I said earlier in the first point, we are incredibly lucky to be in an era where the internet is up and running, right? The internet is everywhere. There are so many apps that are popping up day in, day out. Like every day there's something popping up that is supposed to make our lives easier, right? So in today's digital age, online networking is just as crucial as in-person interactions. I remember in our first session that had to do with personal branding and building a professional image, I mentioned, like I think getting to the tail end, I mentioned that all of your social media handles or pages, right, are an opportunity for you to show the world what it is that you do, the things that you are passionate about, the things that you are working on. It's not about you and your I don't know, some people is all about pictures and all of that. Well, if there's a goal behind it, yes, but leverage on all your social media platforms to showcase the things that you are interested in, the things that you are passionate about, the things that you're working on. Please remember this very carefully, right? We clearly do have specific apps, right? So like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an incredibly powerful platform, right? That's a space for professionals, right? So in that case, it makes sense, right? It just makes absolute sense to be on LinkedIn if you're a professional, right? Be it you looking to interact with people within your space, looking to advance and get to know people within your space. Number two, expand your skill sets, interact with people in. The beautiful thing is that you get to interact with people in Ghana and outside of Ghana, right? That's the beauty of technology today. So building, if let me just say this, if you are not on LinkedIn, you are doing yourself a disservice, right? You need to be on LinkedIn, right? And when you understand the potential benefits that you can get from LinkedIn, you'll be on LinkedIn yesterday. So this is an encouragement to all of you here that please do well to get on LinkedIn, right? It's one of the low-hanging fruits we have now in our era, to be able to put yourself out there. You basically put yourself out there and say, guys, I am a digital marketer, right? I'm looking to connect with people within my space to upgrade my skills and get to know people who are doing things within that space. I'm a UX design person, right? I'm a this person, I'm a that person. Boom, 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 boom. Before you know, you are connecting with people within that space, right? So building an online presence involves creating and maintaining a professional online profile. I can't stress that enough, right? It involves creating and maintaining a professional online profile. You have to do that, right? The space calls for that. I remember I was having a discussion with a colleague of mine about the different apps, right? I'm in the advertising space, so the different apps and the feel they have, right? So Facebook, when you mention Facebook, certain perceptions comes to mind. When you mention Instagram, certain perceptions come to mind. When you mention Snapchat, certain perceptions come to mind. When you mention LinkedIn, certain perceptions come to mind, right? All of them allow or not a certain way of doing things, right? When you mention Twitter or X now, there's a certain, perception that comes to mind. So you can do certain things comfortably on X, which was formerly Twitter, and yeah, you possibly get away with it. But if you come and do that on LinkedIn, everybody's going to look at you funny, right? It's like being invited to an all black tie event, and then you decide to go and wear, what are those jeans called? The jeans where the slash, there are some torn jeans, and then you decide to go. That's not me. That the black tie event. That's what I'm going to go. Right? It's important to understand the platforms that you are on and behave accordingly. Right? So within this specific area of career advancement, job search, and so on and so forth, LinkedIn is literally the place to go to and to be, right? And there's a way to go about it, right? So the key takeaway here is that an impressive online presence makes you accessible to potential contacts and showcases your expertise, right? You are learning something that you're going to put out there for others to find you. So it's a no-brainer if you ask me, right? Okay. The next one is building an online presence. And okay, so this is a sub point under building a strong online presence, right? So in order to get ahead, right, leveraging on online platforms and networking is to expand your reach and connect with industry professionals. That has to be worked on. Like I said earlier, the beauty of some of these platforms is that you find somebody in Finland, my hometown, who will just text you here in Accra, Ghana, and say, "Oh, hello, I hear you are a UX designer, right? I've seen some of your work. You've posted some of your work. I'm really interested in doing a collaboration with you." I see this happening every day. I kid you not, right? You have somebody from the US texting you to tell you they want to collaborate with you. I see this happening on a day-to-day basis. So this is the beauty of having an online presence that works in your favor, right? This is a way of networking and showcasing what it is that you can do, right? Online presence involves creating a solid digital footprint through platforms like LinkedIn, right? Personal websites and social media, right? So this is an indication to you to pay attention to what it is that you post on social media. Unfortunately, we are having a generation that is not caring what it is that they put on social media, which is quite disheartening. On one hand, I don't blame them as much because nobody is having that sort of talk with young people today. But on the other hand as well, young people need to understand that the internet it doesn't forget. I think people need to understand that. The internet is such a huge place. It's like the sea. It's so vast, right? It's so huge, right? And it can create so many opportunities for you. I could give so many examples if you give me the chance, but I need you to understand that just learning digital marketing and ending it in a year, right? There are so many opportunities that can happen for you, right? If you're in the tech space, just putting on the fact that you know coding or you know web development or you know this or you know that, it can open so many opportunities for you. Now, you don't want anybody to come to your page and get disappointed just because you haven't taken the right steps to be able to showcase yourself in a way and manner that is going to give you the outcomes that it is that you want, right? So I need all of you to pay attention to this. It's incredibly important, right? Effective networking and active online presence can open doors to new opportunities and collaborations. I cannot stress on this enough. I cannot stress on this enough, right? So please, 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 and please again, let's be mindful of what it is that we post on social media. One, let's be intentional about the way we curate and put out, things that are that's where other people find out what it is that we do and the skill sets that we have. We are going to, become attractive options to them, right? I hope you're taking some good notes as I move along, right? Okay. So effective networking strategies, right? I think at this point I'd like to get some of you in. What are some of the networking strategy? I know I've touched on some, but what are some of the networking strategies that come to mind? Right. So when you hear networking, what are some of the strategies people employ to be able to, get to know people, get to interact with people, to collaborate with people, etc.? You can type in the chat if you don't mind. Okay. Okay. So speaking well, Benedicta says effective communication. Yes, I understand that. That's good. I mean, speaking well helps. I'll touch on that a bit. Attending events and conferences. Thank you so much, Al Hassan. It's an incredibly important point. You can't sit in your house and think that you know people. No, it doesn't work like that. If you're looking to get to know people in your space, it is important that you find time to attend events and conferences. I have read a number of books, and one of the key indicators, right, of most of these successful people, people who are on the path to success, really, is the fact that they attended events and conferences, right? So it's something that I want you people to pay attention to. And Miracle says you're dressing. Absolutely, absolutely, right? How you appear, right? How you appear is such a huge factor, right, guys? So what are the networking strategies? What are the adding valuable and engaging comments under the post of people you're trying to connect with? Thank you so much, Harrison, for saying that, right? That is an incredibly powerful approach that we have, right? So the internet, you see, I said it in our last session, the internet is such that I can wake up one day and decide that I'm going to slide into the DMs of Oprah and tell her how she's doing amazing and that, she should continue what she's doing. Back some years ago, that was close to impossible, right? The internet has created a situation such that Kojo Mensah in Choco somewhere, just because he can download Instagram or download LinkedIn, can get up one day and go and text, the Minister of Trade, right? And tell him that, oh, boy, I'm admiring the work that you're doing. I'm Kofi so and so. This is what it is that I do. You can literally do that, right? The next point Moses says is connecting to people and finding job opportunities. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're absolutely spot on, right? It's people who know things, right? So to the lady I was explaining to earlier about the fact that life is about people, it's people who know things, right? If you don't talk to somebody, you know what is inside a person's head. That's another good point to keep in mind, right? There's this thing in our local, it's common in Ghana, right? They say it's about who you know, right? It's about who you know. Well, let me best it out to you. Life is about who you know and who knows you, right? Let me best your bubble there. Young people need to understand that life is about who you know and who knows you, because who knows you and who you know could potentially open doors for you, right? When it comes to your career, when it comes to social, and when it comes to social settings, when it comes to getting opportunities for career advancements, when it comes to, literally your life changing from A to Z. It's people, right? So thank you for bringing that point up. Building good relationships and asking questions from people you get in touch with to be open-minded. Good. That's a good point. That's a good point. So let's get into effective networking strategies. So successful networking involves specific strategies, right? It includes attending industry events. Don't tell me that you are interested in digital marketing, but you are attending food events. I can't see the link in there. You say you are interested in digital marketing. You say you are taking a course in digital marketing, but you've never attended a conference. You've never attended a digital marketing event. I don't know who you are deceiving. All I know is that you are deceiving yourself, right? You say you are interested in food, but nope, you never attend any food events. That's problematic, right? Next one is joining relevant groups. I think that's self-explanatory, right? Reaching out to contacts, right? People within the space, like the example I gave. I can get up one day and text Oprah Winfrey today. I can slide into her DMs and tell her how she's doing amazing, right? The last point is something that I want to stress on a bit. Providing value to your network, right? Providing value to your network. Let me give you a little secret, right? Something, one of my codes I stick to. I never take meeting or having an interaction with people, whether virtually or online, for granted. Because I have how many people here today? I have about 50 people, 50 participants today. I don't know who you people know, right? I don't know what is even inside your head, right? So the point is, for the fact that I have the opportunity to be able to speak to all these 50 people today, it's an opportunity for my name to go further. Right now, 50 people know me, true or false. The point is that true, people know me. So it's imperative on me to make sure that when I'm delivering any session, or I'm having any in-person interaction or either Zoom interaction, it is important. I don't joke with it at all. I never joke with it. I understand that interaction could potentially open doors for me, right? And so I always look to give. I give more. I try as much as possible to sometimes even belabor certain points and share my experiences and the things that I have in my head, right? We are here for a certain specific purpose, right? And so I'm going to make sure that for the moments that I have with you, right? Let's say from 4 to about whatever, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to pour out as much as I can, because if I have a good impression with 50 people here, think about it. When anything comes up somewhere in your life along the journey about some guy who knows about how to network effectively, he can, if you call him to organize the session for you, he can do it for you. Would you people mention my name? It's very likely you mention my name. That's if I do a good job. First off, you know me. One, you know me by my name. Number two, you know me by the value that I've provided to you. Right? So I need all of you to understand this whole idea of providing value to your network. We'll go into a few details, right? So the key takeaway here is that implementing effective strategies can help you connect with the right people and create lasting relationships, right? Good. I hope you guys are learning a thing or two. So the importance of giving back, right? this is the crux of the matter, really, right? A lot of people go into networking situations looking to get, hey, I want that person's number. Hey, I want that person to know me. Oh, I want that person to do this. It's about me, and always getting. As even a rule of thumb, be afraid and flee from people who are always looking to get for themselves. Those people are scary people, right? And funny thing about the world is that at a point, right, you can deceive a people or two, but as you move along, right? People who are always me, and looking to always get. You always be exposed, and people want nothing to do with you. So understand that networking is always a two-way street, right? Imagine how I even think about it is imagine for the guys, yeah, for the guys in the group. Imagine going to talk to a girl. You meet a girl, she's attractive. You talk to her, you get to have her number, etc. And you're always texting her. She's not replying. She's nothing. She's not engaging in the conversation. At a point, you just get tired and stop. Same for the girls. Imagine you've interacted with someone. The person is always blah blah blah, but there's nothing, right? There's nothing. The person is giving nothing. You are just the one who is giving. The person is just receiving. You just get tired at a point and then stop, right? So it's important to understand that, excuse me, that networking is a two-way street, and giving back is not even essential. It's a must. How I go into every networking event is to make sure I give more than I receive. In fact, I don't even go into the situation to get. That's me, and at least the stage I'm at, right? I'm always looking to give. Giving back can mean helping others in your network and offering support, sharing knowledge, and providing referrals. There are some people I have on the contact list on my phone. We might potentially never work together when I think about it, but for the fact that I know what it is that they do, when I'm moving around, my day to day, and an opportunity comes, depending on the energy that we had and the vibe that we have, I think about them first and send them that job. Do you see how magical and even almost counterintuitive it is? You go into a situation looking to help the other person. When you help somebody, the person is, listen, it's I can't explain it. I guess is a universal law of the world. But when you look to give, it always comes back to you. It's something I've experienced time, so many times. I can't even count. Right? Focus on giving. There are some people on my contact list. When I meet them, it's always about, oh, okay, this is what you do, right? Okay. Let me see the work that you've done. Oh, you know how to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You know how to put a website together. Oh, you're a digital marketer. Okay, cool. Okay, nice meeting you. We'll probably get in touch. Let me have your number. Do you have a LinkedIn page? Do you have an Instagram page? Can I get your number? That's it. Once I get those details, right? Once I'm going around in my circles and somebody pops up and says, oh, I need somebody who does digital marketing. Oh, I met somebody, blah, 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 blah. Oh, this is his number. Boom. Just mention that, oh, Kwame is the one who puts you in touch. These things are extremely powerful. Trust me. Right? So being generous and supportive in your networking efforts strengthens the relationship. Right? Imagine me coming and giving you a gift straight away. Right? A gift. You sent work my way. You remember me for a long time. Right? You remember me for a long time. And this builds a positive professional reputation, right? So even amongst yourself, with the 50 people I have here for this session, right? Get to know each other. Get to know each other, build some sort of familiarity, build that relationship with each other. Let people know, participants should know what each other does, right? Because the moment you go into the world, or if you are already working in a career, in a company, etc., there's somebody you might need. There's always going to be a job opening somewhere. There's something that is going to pop up. It's just life and how fluid it is, right? So it's important to focus on always give before you ask, right? Good. All right. I mean, this is a follow-up point, right? So networking is an enrichment program, not an entitlement program. You are not entitled to get my number. You are not entitled to get my notes. You are not entitled to have me collaborate with you on anything. You have to build. You have to give. You have to build some sort of value. You have to give value to me first. You see, shift the perspective from getting to giving. And your networking interactions are going to be so great. Trust me. I know this firsthand, so I know what I'm talking about, right? Networking is not about taking advantage of others and expecting something in return. Painfully, some people go into get into networking situations like this is always, oh, Charlie, I want to get this person's number so that the person will give me a job. No, wrong move. Human beings are inherently selfish. Everybody is thinking about themselves and what concerns them. So if you go into a situation always looking to get, the moment you're exposed, you are cut off, and you're cut off really hard. I'm not sure you want that for yourself and your career as you move along. Even in social settings, it's important to pay attention to that, right? It is about building relationships. Build it. Hello, what's your name? Blah, blah. Oh, this is what you do, right? Okay, blah, 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 blah. Take the person's number, take the person's details. That's it. From time to time, check in. Hello, hello. Or even after, if we have a session like this, and you possibly might want to do something or build a relationship with me, you can start with what happened here today. Oh, you said a thing or two that I found really interesting. It helped shift my perspective on A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And I'm grateful that we interacted, right? And I'll say, oh yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for paying attention to this, right? It's something that is going to change your trajectory as you move along, right? Connect with people. Connect. Hello, hello. What do you? Oh, my name is blah blah blah. But what do you do? Oh, I do this A B C D E F G H. Oh, I see. Blah 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 blah. Oh, what's your opinion on this? It's have a vibe to it. Don't be so don't be so focused on the outcome that you forget to enjoy the process. Let me repeat that again. Don't be so focused on the outcome that you forget to enjoy the process. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Right? So it's about building relationships. It's about connecting with people. It's about enriching lives of those you connect with. When we approach networking with this mindset and authentic interest, we open ourselves up to limitless personal and professional growth opportunities. Right? I need you to pay attention to this for the 49, 50 people here. Right? Good. We are moving along nicely. The next one is overcoming networking challenges. Let me quickly ask, what are some of the challenges you have, right, when it comes to networking? Somebody said, what if you're shy? So I'm guessing shyness is a concern for some of you. Can any of you the floor is open, right? The chat is open. Feel free to chip in some of the things that hold you back when it comes to networking. Okay. Yes, please, being shy. Next one is self-esteem. What else? What else, guys? Okay, fear of being embarrassed of the other person. Good, good, good. I like the honesty. Okay, so let's deal with them one by one. So somebody says they're shy, somebody says low self-esteem. Another person says with networking, sometimes, especially with the ladies, when you are networking, especially at a conference, some of the guys would like to take advantage of you. Okay, that's a very fair concern. Jacqueline, thank you. I'm a victim of that. Okay. Fear of being embarrassed by the other person. Okay, that's a very fair point. Something I fear is feeling like a bother to the person. Oh, I'm excited about this. We'll talk about that. The assumption that others might not be interested in or value what you do. Good, 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 good. These are good insights, and they are very real challenges, right? So let's start with Miracle's own, the fear of being shy. If I told you that some years ago I was a very shy and timid person, many of you wouldn't believe me, right? So the thing is, how did I overcome this? I think one of the things I did was the fact that I wanted to challenge myself, right? I realized that it looked as if somebody has put something in my head that, you are a shy person. And so one day I asked myself, why do I think that I'm a shy person? Why can't I go and talk to that human being over there? The person is a human being like me. Why can't I go and talk to that person? Then you see the process of asking myself that started to, you know, it led me down a certain path, right? Where I realized that sometimes, unfortunately, when we are growing up, we tend to have our parents or teachers or whatever, they sort of foist certain things on us, unfortunately. And we sort of sometimes embrace um, that adjective, if I'm to put it that way, right? So they say you are shy, or you there, you are this, or you there, you are that. Maybe you are that, but there are some of the things I've come to realize it's not you. It's genuinely not you. Where does shyness come from? That's the question I think I remember I used to ask myself. Why? Is it that I felt that I wasn't good enough? Is it that I felt like the other person was way better than I am? Right? What is it? Then I question, and it went all back to the way to I probably don't feel like I have anything to offer. Because if you don't have anything to offer to somebody else, then what are we going to talk about? Do you see? So when it comes to shyness, how I like to challenge myself is to go straight to the fact that what am I doing? What are the things that I'm passionate about? Right? Thankfully, we have the internet, right? You can explore everything and anything that you are interested in, right? And that is going to give you confidence. So now, remember the first example of the first thing that had to do with networking. So if I say that I'm interested in digital marketing, right, it means that I need to have a certain basic understanding of digital marketing and what it sets out to achieve. Correct? Okay. Now I'm going to do the internal work of trying to make sure I understand those values. Okay, next one is I'm going to start going for events, right? The thing about these things is that when I go for that event, it means that it is specifically for people who are in the digital marketing space or are into the UX space, right? Or are into the web development space. Meaning that there are people like me, right? So now we have something in common that we can have conversations around. Does it make it easier or not? It makes it easier, right? So those are the things I'd want you to explore and get out, get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Understand that the person is just a human being like you. That's something I am continuously working on and realizing that people are just human beings like you. Really, they are just human beings like you. So it's about what do I want to achieve at the end of this interaction or at the end of this conversation, right? Remember that networking is about giving, not getting, right? Sometimes you can go simply as introducing yourself. Oh, I see you are interested in this. I see. Okay. My name is this and this is that. These are the things that I do. What do you do as well? Blah, 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 blah. Absolute pleasure meeting you. And that's it. Right? So I hope I've answered the miracles question. Low self-esteem. Low self-esteem. Good. It's in a sense tied to I think a product of low self-esteem has to do with a product of low self-esteem is shyness, right? So when it comes to low self-esteem, one thing I've realized is if you are genuinely not doing anything with your life, it's very easy for you to have low self-esteem because what are you going to talk about with anybody? That's why I say that paying attention, doing the behind the scenes work of adding knowledge to yourself, right? Getting information, listen. I remember in our first session, I mentioned to all of you that all of you matter for the fact that you are here on this planet, on this continent, in this country. You matter. There's something that you are supposed to bring here. Now, the work that you have to do is to be able to clear out all the bushes, right? Just so you come out. You absolutely matter. If nobody has told you this today, I need all of you to understand that you matter. Now start engaging in things. All of us have things we are interested in or we are passionate about. We just haven't paid attention enough. So please, at this opportunity, just pay attention. Just pay attention to the things that you are interested in, right? It could be the career path that you are on. say that as for me, at the end of this month or at the end of the year, I'm going to know so much about UX. I'm going to know so much about web development. I'm going to know so much about digital marketing, right? Push yourself. When you have a certain base of knowledge, you are confident when you speak, right? You are confident when you speak, and just allow yourself to be uncomfortable, right? If the person, low self-esteem really tends to point to the fact that you are typically not doing anything that you like. When we like something that we find ourselves in, we get, there's a certain ginger when we are speaking about it, right? So now focus, go behind the scenes and start paying attention to the things you're interested in, and then go in, head on, I hope I've helped in that regard, Benedicta. Jacqueline says, with networking, sometimes, especially with the ladies, yeah, they want to take advantage of you. There's no two ways about it. It's a reality, right? It's a reality. And I think that depending on what it is that we want to achieve from each of these networking situations, it's important to be as respectful as much as possible. It is also important to make sure that you draw boundaries, respectfully. So let's just say, let me give an example. So I am Jacqueline. I enter a space. I don't know what you are studying, but you enter a space and you go to an event and you start talking to somebody within the space who you feel has some knowledge that you are interested in, or has some connection, or is working somewhere that you want to get to know, etc. Hello, my name is Jacqueline, blah, blah, blah. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm studying, blah, 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 blah. I hear you working, blah, 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 blah. I'm really excited about it. And then maybe the man is trying to, steer the conversation to another place. Yeah. You respectfully say, oh no, I'm sorry, but I'm not interested in that at this moment. Right? I'm interested in what it is that you're doing, what you do. And yes, if it's not going to go that way, well, it's a pleasure to meet you. And then you move on from there. Right? I mean, you have to find, you have to find ways to go about these things, because it's unfortunately a reality on the ground. Daniel says the fear of being embarrassed. Daniel, at this point in my life, I've embraced embarrassment. In fact, I look for it. You see, when you let me tell you how I think about this. I think about life as, whether I like it or not, right? Last, I'm going to die. And the other person too is going to die, right? And when I enter most situations, I'm like, okay, there might potentially be two responses. It's either going to be a yes or it's going to be a no, right? Yes or no. Can I live with that? Of course I can live with that. The sun will shine tomorrow. It will rain again when it gets cloudy. Nothing is going to change just because I was embarrassed. Once I psych myself like that, I don't fear any interaction. Right? So Daniel, challenge your limiting beliefs around feeling embarrassed. Right? Will you die? Is it going to change the color of your hair? Is it going to make you become an old person all of a sudden just because one human being out of the 8 billion people we have in this world has embarrassed you? Just because you asked the person a question and the person didn't mind you? Right? Remember what I said, right? Don't be so focused on the outcome that you forget to enjoy the process. Right? Enjoy it, like enjoy it so much that if somebody says, I'm not going to mind you, you're like, okay, I'll move on to the next person. Right? And I've come to realize that people who are genuinely like, good people at heart and are looking to get to know other people and are looking to interact with other people, there are so many people around. Right? The people who behave funny, they have issues. That's how I look at it. Another one, Patrick says, something I fear is feeling like I'm a bother to the person, which is a very fair point, right? I mentioned the point earlier that alluded to the fact that human beings are inherently selfish people and are concerned about the things that are about them, right? We are so engrossed in ourselves and the things that concern us. It's just who we are. But the good thing I'm happy about is the fact that you can bypass that, right? When I'm approaching somebody on a certain level, right? It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with you and your consent. So I enter a situation, it's more like, oh, hello, hello. We meet at an event. Oh, hello, hello, hello. Oh, hi, what do you do? Oh, I do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay. Oh, I also do this and that and that and that. Oh, okay. I mean, it could be a simple thing as, would you want to have a quick conversation about what the facilitator said, the other time? It's a good time. Okay, if not, that's fine. That's okay. There should be, yeah, there are some social skills that we also need to develop just so we don't want to bother another person. For some people, you can feel like they don't want to be bothered, and so you leave those people alone, right? But the moment we're able to strike a conversation with another person, it is important to make sure that we try and make we try and make the conversation as fun and interactive as possible. How I look at it is the ladies will bail me out on this one, right? When guys approach the girls all the time, guys approach girls all the time, right? You have girls saying things like, he said hi on WhatsApp and that was it. He didn't say anything again. I am not going to continue the conversation, right? You have things like, he came to take me out and, he just said hi. He couldn't have a conversation with me, right? You see, it's a fear that is just holding you back. Do not focus on the outcome so much that you forget to enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. The person is another human being like you. Chill, relax. It's not the end of the world. Remember that always. Chill, relax. It is not the end of the world, right? Yeah, and a tip for social events and interactions is to be as brief as possible, right? Is to be as brief as possible, unless you are somebody who has built, at least to a point where you can have certain conversations. Some people, it just has to be purely business. Once you are able to sort out that business interaction quick, oh, you're here for this, blah, blah, blah. What do you do? Blah, blah. I do A, B, C, D, E. Oh, I also do A, B, C, D, E. Do you have a contact detail that I can have? Okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then that's it. You finish and then you move, right? Another one says the assumption that others might not be interested in the value. So it goes, when you say this, it goes back to my concern about what is your goal for the networking interaction. Because if you are telling me you're interested in digital marketing and I'm seeing you at a Wachi Summit, I'm confused, right? You go to where your value is appreciated. You go to where you know that they are talking about things that you are interested in. That's where you start from. You go to the places where you know that there are things there are things that you are interested about. Right. So if it's UX, if it's web development, if it's digital marketing, there is a common denominator conversation or topic that has brought all of you together over here. Imagine we're having this session in person, right? And we are talking about networking. And then somebody comes up to me and starts talking about Abubuya and how it is a menace in society. First interaction, I'll be looking at the person like, okay, what's happening over here? So you see, when the foundation is weak, right, there's nothing that you are going to give. You start feeling, in fact, you will start feeling like you cannot give value to the other person, right? But if it is specifically something that if it's specifically something that concerns the things that you are passionate about or you are studying or you are interested in, it's easy for you to have a conversation, right? Oh, what do you think of this? Oh, what do you think of that? Do you have any opinions on A? Do you have any opinions on B? Right? I do ABCD and I worked on ABCD projects and I see how it is linked to DEF. You see, kick those assumptions out of your head. It's just your brain trying to frighten you and not make you act. But feel free, lighten up, people, right? I understand the concerns. I've been there. Even up to now, I have situations where I'm like, oh God, if I go and say hi to this person and this person doesn't say hi back, how am I going to feel? The moment I feel that, I'm like, this is my time to act, and I go and act. I'm just sharing my secrets with you, right? McGray says, not knowing how to start a conversation. I think these are things that you have to learn, right, McGray? And the beauty of the internet is that it affords you a whole lot of information that you can take advantage of, right? Go out there, learn, go on YouTube, go and find out, like, intro lines to have conversations with people. Then after that is practice, 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 practice. If you do not go into a conversation with an end goal in mind, you are going to struggle. You are literally going to struggle. The simple one, I start to say, hello, hello, hi, my name is this, my name is that. What do you do? Oh, I do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Oh, what do you? I also do A, B, C, D. Oh, I see we have quite a lot in common, right? Any projects, any interesting projects that you've worked on, right? If there's nothing inside your head, you are not doing anything with your life, there's no way you're going to have, you're not going to have like a conversation that is, it'll be difficult for you to have a conversation, right? Another thing has to do with the way we appear, right? I make an effort to dress well, because when I dress well, I feel extra confident. I feel like I can enter any interaction, right? Because I make sure I appear attractive and pleasant, right? Pretty much I have a smile on my face, right? And I try to get into a space in my mind where, I try to enjoy the process. So I hope that helps. Some introverts find it difficult to network and with others and don't seem to know how to break free. Yes, that's very, very true. I was told I was an introvert for God knows how long. So, well, I decided no. First of all, if I have clear goals I want to achieve, and this allows me to be able to make sure that I sacrifice and get into a space where I am comfortable being uncomfortable, right? I tended to have a strategy also of going to places with friends, right, who were much more bubblier than I am, right? So that's one way you can take advantage of breaking free of this introversion, right? If you enter an event that focuses on a subject matter that you're interested in, do well sometimes to go with a colleague that you know is bubblier, right? He's somebody who is like a social butterfly and is able to, have different interactions with people much more, easily than you, right? And go in and say, oh, oh, this is my friend. My friend is, Prince. Yeah, Prince, wow, Prince, what do you do as well? Oh, Prince does well. Or your friend, or you see, or your friend can even help and say, oh, blah, 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 blah. I was speaking to this guy. Oh, have you met my friend? Those are your good friends. The one who says, oh, have you met my friend Prince? Yeah, he also does UX design and he's into digital marketing. He's actually great at what he does, right? I'd like you to speak to him. Look for people like that, right? Find ways to win, right? Get out of your comfort zone. Remember that if somebody embarrasses you, the sun is not going to stop shining. The rain won't stop pouring. Your hair is not going to turn gray, right? Have that uh, code, if you like, at the back of your mind. And yeah, you pretty much not be spooked about any interaction. I know it's difficult, right? But it takes steps, and you get there, right? Yeah, people have done it, and you definitely get there, right? So some of the challenges you guys highlighted was the shyness, was the fear of rejection, and time constraints, right? So the ultimate takeaway here is that learning to overcome these challenges is essential, right? What you don't know, you learn, and then boom, you get into that situation, and then you succeed. You try, and you get there, right? So these are some practical ways that I sort of wanted to highlight when it comes to some of these networking challenges, right? So practice active listening. So let me tell you guys a secret. People like to talk about themselves, right? People like to talk about themselves. So when with every interaction, you are having, remember what we said about giving, right? Give the person the opportunity to talk about themselves. In any interaction, give the person the opportunity to talk about themselves, right? And you only do that by practicing active listening. Just listen. Pay close attention to what others are saying during networking events, right? It allows you the opportunity to be able to listen to stuff and pick and say, oh, I like what you said about that. Could you expand on that more? Oh, I'd like to, this thing you said, I was thinking about the same thing, but I'm not sure we have a lot of time now. So let me take your contact and we'll find time to continue this conversation. You've built a connection there. Do you see what I mean? I hope you're paying attention, right? The other thing is to set realistic expectations, right? Understand that not every networking interaction is going to lead to immediate results. I wish somebody had told me this earlier. Right? And it's also good to understand this because you know that you're not getting into the networking situation to get. So you'll be comfortable with things not happening fast, right? Set realistic, that's with setting realistic expectations, right? So set realistic expectations and view each connection as an opportunity to learn and build relationships over time, right? Another one is for the people who have don't know what to say and all of that, right? Prepare some quick elevator pitch, right? Craft concise and compelling, elevator pitch that introduce yourself and your goals. Hello, my name is Kwame, blah, 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 blah. This is what I do, blah, blah, blah. What do you do as well? You can go in with that line and do it with confidence. Do it with a certain bubbliness. Don't come in awkward and looking, quote unquote, creepy, right? We are human beings, right? So the more you see energy and vibrancy is infectious, right? So it's important to pay attention to that. When you come in with a certain energy, yeah, hello, my name is Kwame. I do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. What do you do as well? Oh, I do A, B, C, D, oh, that's really awesome. Really lovely meeting you. Boom, and you're out of that. Attend networking events regularly. I can't stress this enough. If you haven't attended any events and you say you are interested in a certain particular field, that's on you. Make time to make sure that you are, going to networking events. The more you go for networking events, the more comfortable you become around people, right? Whether in person, online, build a certain, comfort, right? Build that comfortability around, so being around people, right? Another one is to seek support and feedback, right? Go with your friend, right? Tell the friend that you're going to speak to 5 people. He or she should just observe you and then give you feedback as to how you are coming off across and the things that you can improve. If people say, I have friends, this person is my best friend, but the person is not helping you to be able to become a better person or a much improved person in certain areas of your life. Be careful with the people you call best friends. Anyway, yeah, that's just by the way. So networking for career advancements, right? So networking is not just for job seekers, right? It's an incredibly useful tool for career advancements, right? So networking within your current organization can lead to promotions, leadership opportunities, and career growth. So it's incredibly important to pay attention to that. So now the last bit has to do with measuring your network success, right? If you're able to clearly define the goal that you're trying to achieve, it is important to make sure that you are measuring whether you are succeeding or not, right? That's incredibly important. You have to be able to measure whether you are succeeding or not, because else you're not going anywhere, right? So one is to be able to gauge the effectiveness of your networking efforts, right? So one could include how many new people have I, how many new contacts do I have this month? Is it one? Is it two? Is it five? Is it 20? Right? What opportunities have I generated in a month, in a year, 6 months? Right? What goals have I achieved? It's incredibly to understand these things, right? Asking yourself, I've been going for events. I still don't have any contact. I don't have anybody's contact cards, nothing. I don't have anybody's number. It means that you're doing networking wrong. So then you have to pay attention to what it is that you're doing, right? So yeah, I mean, to wrap up, whether you're seeking new opportunities or looking to advance in your career, you're looking to, get into a space of people who are doing the things that you love and you're passionate about, or things that are aligned with your career projection, etc. Networking can be a game changer, right? It can be an absolute game changer for you. So, guys, thank you so much for the session I've had. I guess we have time for a bit of Q&A. So the floor is officially open. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kwame. So guys, as he said, the floor is open for questions, and maybe if you have a few suggestions or something you'd want to add for all of us to learn, the floor is open for you to do so.
You're welcome, Miracle. You can unmute and ask. That's fine. I think you can do that. Feel free to unmute and ask any questions, any comments. I'm open and ready to help. Hey, all of you are networking sharks. You guys are all, you're solid. Hey, guys, it says you should ask, and it shall be given unto you. Seek, and ye shall find. There are over 40 people
Hello.
over here. Yes, sir. Speak to me. Daniel.
Please, I want to find out if the recording will be shared to us.
I should think so. I'm sure Isinam would, I'll discuss with Isinam and then we'll see whether that can be arranged.
All right. All right. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
No comments, nothing. Have you learned anything?
Sure. And that is the more reason why I would wish for the recording, because I need to internalize most of the thing that
Yeah.
you
You're
taught
giving me
today.
raps, Daniel. Okay, tell me, give me one thing that you've learned today.
About the practical ways to overcoming, because I'm the one who said that I have a fear of being embarrassed by the other person. So one practical way that I have learned to overcome some of these challenges is to set realistic expectations. I shouldn't expect that by merely in my attempt to how do I put it? My attempt to network, everybody or anybody at all be willing in that first instance to be open. I think I have to take it step by step, slowly, and then get along before I can be able to connect or build that connection with the people I intend to connect with. I shouldn't expect an instant connection with those I meet on the way. I mean, in every day, I have to set my mind that it is going to be a gradual process. whilst I work towards building that connection. Yeah.
Absolutely spot on, right? So don't focus too much on the outcome that you forget to enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Right? Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I think I'd like to go around and ask everybody what it is that they've learned today. So I'll start from Abu Bakari Abdullahi. Kindly share any comments. I'd like you to make a comment on what it is. One thing that you've learned today, right? Let's go around.
Okay, one thing I've learned is to not to be shy when trying to network with people, because after all, at the end of the day, if you are embarrassed, the sun will continue to shine. So you should not be.
I like that. Thank you. Thank you for the sun will definitely continue to shine and the rain will surely continue to fall. Thank you so much for sharing that. A free year Benedict Dodo. Kindly share one thing that you've learned today. Free year. Okay, if you're not ready, we'll go to Anan Ablo Ahmed. Kindly share one thing you've learned today.
Yeah, what I've learned is that I quite remember we learned something about personal branding also, and we mentioned some of the big organizations, the MTN, and some big personalities and stuff like that. And also, what came into my mind was that those people who have brand themselves will also have networks with other people, and those network makes things successful for them. So before you can reach that height or reach where they are, it takes time. We should not rush, but we should be patient, because creating that networking, there will be a lot of challenges. So, for instance, maybe the way you expect things to go, it will not go to that direction. But we have to make sure that we take our time, be patient, and still press towards that goal. And by the grace of God, I think we'll reach the level those big personalities have reached. So this is a little I can share with you or with my colleagues. But thank you very much for for what you have taught us today. God bless you.
Okay, God bless you too. Thank you. So I think what I'm getting from you is that it's basically just to have patience, right? Basically have patience whilst you take steps to first off build your personal brand, build your professional image. And even if you're going into networking situations, it's important to just be patient, right? Things are not just going to happen pop like popcorn, right? It's important to just take your time and things are going to happen. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. The next person is Raymond. Okay, I don't think Raymond is ready. So, Mariam Rabiu, could you kindly share one thing that you've learned today? Okay, I'm guessing Mariam is not ready. Benedicta, are you ready? Okay, Hannah, your hand is raised. Hannah, go on.
Okay, so what I was learned about, I learned was some of the quotes about networking, and I got something from your network. Your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
And another thing I also learned from this section was the time where you told us to try to build an online presence, and you also introduced us to LinkedIn and asked us to create an account and optimize it.
I'm happy you've learned that. Thank you so much for sharing. Who do I have here? MH. I'm seeing one MH. MH, kindly share one thing that you've learned.
All right. Thank you so much, Kwame. I think your session has been very insightful. So I want to share, you mentioned that we should be intentional about building strong online presence. And I think that stuck with me. And you said we should leverage the various platforms to ensure that our digital. Thank you so much.
Good. It's incredibly important. So it's good you pay attention to that. Miracle, kindly talk to me. One thing that you've learned.
Okay, thank you very much. So what I learned is that networking involves action, taking action. So you need to make the necessary efforts to build connections with people. And the more connections you make, the more valuable you become, because life is about people. And another thing is that the internet does not forget, so we should be mindful of the things we do on it, and we should also make the most out of it by displaying our interests, projects, and accomplishments. Yes, please, that's what I mean.
Miracle, thank you so much. You're absolutely spot on. Yeah, the internet doesn't forget, and you get to leverage on the internet for your benefit, so why don't you put stuff on there that is going to attract the things that you want, sorry, well, thank you so much for sharing. Kwame Jan, kindly speak to me. One thing that you've learned.
One thing that I've also learned today is that networking is not about receiving, it's also about giving.
Thank you.
And just as you alluded to, the more you give, the more you receive.
It's very biblical. Thank you so much for sharing. I don't know if I've spoken to Ifri Benedict. Free. Okay. Raymond. Raymond is not ready to speak. Benjamin, or who's ready to speak? Raymond. Okay. Raymond is probably shy. Okay. Benjamin. Benjamin is not ready to speak. Charles Huno. Somebody's hand is raised. Okay, Clemens, speak to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Clemens and then Benjamin comes. Benjamin and Clemens, speak.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Clemens.
Please, I can hear you.
Yes, kindly share one thing you've learned.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. I'm really excited, and I've learned a lot from. I've learned how to communicate to people, and also how I should network with people, and the importance of networking. And I've gone to realize that the social media that we have, is more than how we see it. It can actually help us to get in touch with a lot of people and build connections. And we should build connection around our area of study, what we are really interested in, most especially. And also we should make sure that we are always interested in something, and then we shouldn't go around making unnecessary connections or networking with people that are not really related to our area of study or what we are interested in. Thank you.
Absolutely spot on. Thank you so much. Benjamin.
Say.
No.
Yes.
No, this is Clemens.
Oh, okay. So who spoke first? Was it Benjamin who spoke?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Oh, Benjamin, thank you so much. Clement, speak to me. One thing you've learned.
Given the opportunity. So what I've learned is that we should always build our skills and knowledge behind the scene. Yeah, we should always build upon our knowledge, because it goes a long way to give us confidence when networking with others.
Absolutely spot on. When you do the work in the background, when you know what it is that you have to say, you are confident in every situation. So that's a good point to take note of. Edward Asante, Davina Edward Irene. Yes, who am I speaking to?
This is Davina.
Okay, Davina, speak to me. One thing you've learned.
Yes, so one thing I've learned is like people like to talk about themselves. So one thing you could do when you are shy or you can't approach someone is when you get closer, you just make sure you engage them to talk about themselves. That way you would know more, and yeah, you will be networking too, because it will also give you the less opportunity to talk while you are listening if you don't have a lot to say.
Fantastic. That's absolutely spot on. That's especially for people who are a bit shy and do not really, haven't learned enough to be able to hold and carry a conversation, right? It's important to pay attention to that, right? Yeah, just come off as very curious and wanting to know more about the next person. It helps and goes a long way. So there was Edward Irene, Emmanuel. Any of you want to share something?
Irene here.
Yes, Irene, speak to me. One thing you've learned.
Well, it's quite related to what one of the other speakers just said. And I deduced from what you're saying that a lot of times we are not confident because we probably are not doing anything relevant. But if you really have something you are doing, something that you're really passionate about, you've built some level of confidence that when you meet people, you want to talk to them about. Sorry. So if you attend or you go for
I think Irene has dropped off, is it?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. So the point is that once you're doing something relevant and you go for events like that, you have something to talk about. So there's a level of confidence. So I think it's an admonition to all of us to find something relevant doing, so that anytime we have an opportunity to speak, we can sell ourselves and sell what we are doing. Yeah.
Irene, you are absolutely spot on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing. I don't know who's here again. Emmanuel, Osei, Anto, Enoch, Fulira, Gabriel. Yep. Any of you want to share something? George Isel, Gloria Muzu, Hanifa too.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. Yes, who am I speaking to?
Okay, this is Enoch.
Good. Kindly share one thing you've learned today.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I really enjoyed it, but I've also learned that we should avoid assuming how someone will react to our attempt to interact with the person. And yeah, so don't assume that this person is going to behave this way if you mean to speak to the person. Just approach the person and introduce yourself. Also, going forward, we have people who are always feeling shy. Those people can also find a way of building their network by following people who are kind of social butterfly. That is people who are like known and popular in places. So any gathering that is there, you can follow those people, and when you get there, they can introduce you to other people, and through that you can build your network. And a way of also building connections with others is maybe if you are feeling shy, you can decide to design some elevator pitch something that you can easily talk about you yourself and what you do. And to also build confidence, I've learned that we should always dress appropriately so that you'll be able to be confident in approaching everyone we meet. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. If you've learned that, I am happy. Yes, Emmanuel, anything to share?
Yes, please. So I would like to add, I came late, but what I heard was
people, the bus that will come and take us to heaven, some of you will miss it. You people.
Oh, no,
you
no.
people and your listeners. Go on.
So what I heard and that really took me was that our social media platforms are very, very important, and we shouldn't use it like as a normal thing. It's something like our Twitter, our LinkedIn, and even our Instagram, and even on WhatsApp. We that's where we used to connect with people, and then we don't just have fun there. And then also, what whatever is this thing. So if in case it's on Twitter, you cannot use the same Twitter for LinkedIn. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what
good.
I heard.
At least how I want to if you like expand on that more is you know those guys who sell they sell Kukwedro, they sell it at their Accra, Tema station, they sell it in the bus and even on the VIP buses. Those people who sell those medicines that can cure all the diseases in the world, right? You see the way those guys dress up. Imagine that guy takes that same dressing and same approach to people in Kempiski. Do you think those people are going to look at him and listen to what he has to say? The answer is an obvious no, right? So it's important to understand the platform that you are on and then behave accordingly. But that said, I want to remind all of you again that your social media page, it's really not about the things, the things you want to show us. It's about the things that you are passionate about. Use that to show the things that you are passionate about, the things the activities that you are working on, right? The careers that you are engaging in. Yeah, you should use your social media for that, right? With a sprinkle of you dressing nicely and going somewhere. Okay. Yes. I don't know if anybody else is here. Gloria Muzu, Hanifatu, Harrison, Kadir, Lodia. Yes.
Okay.
Who am I speaking to? Yes, Gloria.
This is Gloria.
Gloria, speak
So
to me.
what I learned today is we should pay attention to ourselves. Like we should notice our strengths and weaknesses so we can work eternally on us. Because we are responsible for ourselves and we do not have an excuse. So we need to be very self-aware. Yeah.
Gloria, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was really good. So Lodia, Moses, Nafisa, Patrick, Prince, Sahada too, Samira too. I'll be mentioning your names to you talk. Vivian, Wanda Hagan, Yusuf, Judith.
Hello.
Yes, speak to me. Harrison.
Yeah, okay. So I believe my colleagues have said almost what was discussed there. But then one thing I also learned was that we need to take action to be able to get the outcome we want. Action is very, very important.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you. That was really good. Anyone want to speak?
Yes, hello. This is Moses.
Anyone want to speak? Winnie, Sahadatu, Judith. Anybody? Somebody is clapping.
I think Moses wanted to.
Oh, okay, Moses. Moses, please. Anything you want to say?
Sorry, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Kindly say.
Thank you very much. So I just deduced from what we did today that you need to accept the fact that there will be rejection when you want to, approach somebody. And then also you need to have confidence in you. Whatever you do, you need to be confident to approach people, talk to them. And you also say that sometimes when people are not willing to network or socialize with you, it means maybe they are not good or something else. So you need to also accept the fact that it's not everybody that would be able to, accept you or probably be willing to connect with you. So that's fine. So that's what I've been able to deduce from what we did today.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Don't focus on the outcome so much that you forget to enjoy the process. That's something I want all of you to take. One person more and then we close. It's 6 now. One person, Wanda, Judith, Raymond, Winnie, Vivian. One person more and then we wrap up over here. Anybody? Somebody's hand is up. Wanda, speak.
Okay, so I think I'll just like to reiterate what
Hello,
you
Wanda.
said about. Can you hear me? Hello?
Okay, I think we have a little problem with Wanda's connection.
No, Wanda is actually speaking.
Oh, he is speaking. I can't hear him.
She is.
Hello?
Yes, Wanda. Yes.
Okay, so you can hear me now.
I can hear
I
you
was
now. Yes.
I think I'll just reiterate something you said about our social media presence and how it contributes to selling who we are or what we are passionate about. I think that you gave an example of maybe using a different platform for the wrong reasons or putting something professional on a platform that is more about fun. So it's more or less like knowing exactly what to put on the appropriate platform so you sell yourself better.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Isina, barring any comments, yes, I think I can officially hand over to you now.
Thank you very much, Kwame, for your time and the dedication you've put into these sessions that we have been having for some time now. And thank you to each and every one of you for joining in today. Definitely, we would put together the slides and then the recording of the sessions and let you have it when they are ready. So once again, I'd say thank you guys so much and enjoy your weekend. Have a good night.
All right, guys. Thank you for having me as well. And cheers. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.